Well, welcome back to the homestead here on the Hancock Hill. Just kind of giving you a brief update. I told you I'd come back and show you a couple things what I got going on. I see my neighbor, they out stirring around today, so that's a good thing. It's a little cool breeze, but you see I got my little collards out here. That's about all I got, and got a little bit of turnips right here, but they've been bug eat. They've been eat up by little tiny bugs and stuff like that. You see my okra patch? It's all dried up and stuff like that from the frost. So we're gonna go up to the greenhouse today, but on the way I gotta make a stop and show you kind of what we got going on up here. We're doing a little harvest from my tree. We gotta get them up. I hadn't had time to do anything. Like I said, we've been working on a floor in my mother's house, which is way up yonder. But anyway, my wife and my granddaughter's been out here picking up black walnuts, and you see we got an abundance of them. So we're gonna make sure we get them husked and let them dry out in a bag. And we're gonna try to haul them out, crack them open and get the stuff out. If you'll bear with me just a minute, we'll go in the greenhouse and see what we got on the inside. See how warm it is in here, and it's 84 degrees in here. That's pretty good for being what it is. But give you a brief update. Thermometer says 84 degrees. 84% humidity. I'm sorry, I'm wrong. It's 55 degrees. And we have some old tomato plants. They're still producing a little bit of cherry tomatoes, not much, but got some cabbage and some different things in here. But what I'm very proud of is I got some more tomatoes. And that's why I said I want to thank my dear friend, Rusty Bryant, for letting me get, you see these tomatoes? That's what I said, letting me get a few clippings off of some of his tomatoes. And that's why I said I wanted to show these tomatoes in there. I got tomatoes growing, and I hope I make it past Christmas this year. See, we even got tomatoes up here. This is a tall tomato plant. It has grew and grew and grew and grew. And this is the same ones off of Rusty's plant. Rusty, he is, I know, well excited about it. Let me adjust this camera stand so that way it'll be sitting right. But you see I'm 6'3" tall, and this tomato plant is a lot taller than me. And this come from a sucker out like this right here, out of Rusty's tomato plant, just like that. That's what I started it with, a sucker, back in the summer, I believe it was. And I started those things out, and they started growing, and that's what I said. And they've been in this pot for ever since, and they've been growing. They have made a few tomatoes, but I had a worm get in here, and a worm, like a little army worm, and he got in here and he ate the plants up. But this is a little setup. That's what I said. I'm hoping that I keep it somewhere around this temperature and growing tomatoes. You know, they seem like they're doing really good. You can see that this one grows way up to almost to the ceiling, and that's why I said I can reach about 8 foot, and that's taller than 8 foot, so it's about 9 foot. A 9 foot tomato plant. That's unreal, isn't it? But yeah, I got some nice tomatoes, letting them keep warm and keeping it going. Got a few other things in here. One of my pineapple trip bushes that survived from last year is still alive. And this is it. And it's got 1, 2, 3, 4 heads on it that's supposed to sprout out. That will. The other thing I got in here is something that we planted in the spring, and I'm gonna lower you down so you can see what it is. And it's doing real good. And you'll see that we do have peppers on it. So it's doing really good. But that's why I said I'm just not gonna be on here that long. I just wanted to tell you what was doing. We've been working on my mom's floor. It had a little bit of rot under the floor from, we estimated it and kind of thought about how long it was, the boards had been under there. My dad got the flooring boards out of the floor joist out of a house that was already built, a 2-story house that was built way before his time. So he got it, and he was around 30, so that would have been made it around somewhere around maybe 90 years old in the wood. It's been in the house they've been married over 50 something years, so it would have been right around 180 years old with the wood. And the next thing would have been that it's been in there my life, and I'm 59, so we calculated it'd be close to 200 years old of wood. And while I'm in here, I might as well get a sample if my granddaughter don't get mad with me. Cherry tomatoes. Man, those things are good. And she loves coming out here and picking them. That's why I say, you see this one? This is a cherry tomato. It's been growing since spring of last year. And it still makes just oodles of them. See this? Look at all these. All these cherry tomatoes. I even got a fig tree still alive in here. It died and came back. So that's why I'm still nursing it in here. But that's about all I have in here to show you. I just wanted to get back on here and tell you guys, I'm trying to get door open, sorry. Because it's difficult sometimes. But I wanted to come on here and tell you guys I appreciate you watching. I appreciate y'all being understanding and helping, giving me prayer on working on my mom's house. Not only that, I've been through a lot here lately. I don't know what's going on with me, but there's just a lot of things on there. Been talking with a lot of friends, been doing a lot of running, doing other things. But when you're working on the floor and everything has to be new, it's tough. It really is. Being a one-man show with my mom 80-something years old and trying to hurry up and get it done for her to have comfort and working in her home. But I did fix it up where she could keep staying in the house because we closed up the doorway where the floor was being torn out at and fixed it. The other thing was that the ground was so close because my dad and them built the house so close to the ground on there that we had to dig the dirt out from under the home. And I'd hate to say how much dirt we moved. I know it's around 18 inches deep that we dug, and probably 20, I think it's 20 foot long. So that's that's how much dirt we moved. I don't know how many calculated yards that is, but it was a lot. But that's why I said I've been very busy with it. I've kind of neglected my garden a little bit, my winter garden. I got some more things to do, some more things to plant, some more things to be busy with, because we got some plants in the greenhouse that's got to come out. Then we need to get them set out. We got a few, but we got more to be setting out. And you see, my little greenhouse ain't much, but it makes me happy, and it does pretty good as far as I think it does anyway. But it's time for us to do some other things too. We got some some chickens that's up here in this pen. They got to be harvested and put them in the freezer. But it's just things like that. When you're committed to a big job, then it takes with you a lot longer than you think. The biggest thing is getting sore because you're not used to doing the bending, the digging, the toting heavy wood and stuff like that. So if you've never seen that, but that's what happens. The upkeep on a homestead is more than what you see advertised on a lot of other people's video. A lot of people come in into a home and they build a brand new home and they started like a homestead, start doing all the other things, or but when you have a house that's already been built, and it's like my home is over maybe around 275 years old. I mean, it's been here for a long time. There's been a total of 4 families lived in this home now since it was early beginning. And one of the first homes is this one over here where my camper's at. And that's why I said I'm not going to show a whole lot. I told y'all I would one of these days. But this was the very first home. And it was originally built where my cousin's home is now. Right there. It's right there where that's at, on that same little hill. But you know, it been relocated. My grandfather relocated it and re-put it back together. It's a log house, and yeah, I know people would say, well, why ain't you fixing it up? Time, money, and other things going on, that's why. There's a lot of things that need to get done that you run out of time. Time is the shortest thing we all have. Everybody says, nah, it's money. No, it's time. Time goes away quick, very fast. And if you don't believe me, just get started doing something and you'll see. But a lot of people don't take time to think about how much time it takes to do something. It takes a long time, especially when you're limited. I'll say that, limited on what you can do and how you can do it. Some people say, why don't you hire it out? Well, the thing of it is, if you hire it out, you're not really living on a homestead. You're living a lot different than what I am, I'll promise you that. Trying to, you know, preserve things and like going hunting and preserving the meat that you harvest, helping friends out, do other things, because you can't do it without having them help you, but you got to turn around in the same thing and help them. Being a volunteer fireman is another thing. An emergency person is helping neighbors help each other, help another neighbor out. You know, you got to be able to help your neighbors as much as you are to be able to, because we are commanded by God that we are commanded to love thy neighbor as you love yourself. You know, how you gonna not love your neighbor if you don't love yourself? So that's some things you got to think about and make sure you do that. But here on the Hancock Hill Homestead, we give God the glory for everything that happens and goes on. And you know, he gives us things to make us stronger, and sometimes he gives us something to make us weaker, to make us humble ourselves. So other than that, I just want to tell you thank y'all. Hope everything's going good with everybody else. But you know, here on the homestead, we've been busy. We've been staying busy pretty regular, and we got a lot of things yet to do. So I see you on the next one, and hope everything's good with y'all. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Thank y'all very much. See you on the next one.